Hi everyone, welcome back to Let's Play Dwarf Fortress / Dwarf Fortress Tutorial / Dwarf Fortress Let's Learn / Dwarf Fortress Teach Me, I don't know. We are back, and today we're going to look at designations and the basics of that. But before we do that, I want to talk a little bit more about the Z layer. I know that I kind of explained in the last episode that looking at Dwarf Fortress is like looking at a cake. You have layers of cake and then icing in between, and you can only ever see one at a time. So what I've done is on the left half of the screen I've opened up an app called Stone Sense, and this is basically a 3D visualization of the Dwarf Fortress game. So if you remember from the last episode, on the right, if you follow my mouse cursor here, we have our wagon here in the middle and all our dwarfs surrounding it. You have a bunch of water coming in, or waves coming in, and then if you go to the left side you can see all the, oh my, interesting, my cursor went from black to white here on this side. That's cool. Anyway, if you look you can see the waves right here, and then you can kind of see a wagon with some turkey hens, lightning, Vaughn, Locke, Celeste. You can kind of see all of those dwarves in there, and you can actually set up Stone Sense to follow what you're looking at when you move around in Dwarf Fortress. So as I'm moving around in Dwarf Fortress, as I'm doing right now with the arrow keys, Stone Sense on the left is also moving around. Now I can go back to the water and unpause it, and you'll see the waves coming in, the waves going out. You see a weasel running around on the left there. So it works very well as a visualization of what's happening in 3D. But let's talk about the Z axis really quickly. If you remember correctly, these circles here on the right side, the actual Dwarf Fortress game, these are the tree trunks. And you can see these on the left, and Stone Sense kind of fleshed out a bit more. If I go up a Z-axis, you can see there's still the ground down here, and we've added another layer of tree. We've added some leaves, which you can see here on the right. Let me go up again. You have even more. Go up again. Go up again. And so as we go up and down Z layers, which I'm going to do right now, you can kind of visually create a tree in your mind. You can tell how tall the tree is, what the leaves look like. So that's what's actually happening in Dwarf Fortress. All these things really exist on the 3D plane, but you can only see one at a time. So I'm going to go ahead and close up Stone Sense. We will talk more about that later in the future. And we'll probably spend quite a bit of time playing around with Stone Sense, exploring our fort, things like that. However, today I want to talk about designations. If we hit tab a few times, if you remember from the last episode, we can open our menu, which is on the right here. And as you look through the menu, you have designations as D. And most of these shortcut keys, these access keys, make sense for what you're doing. Viewing announcements is A, building something is B, looking at your civilizations is C, designations is D. So it won't take you too long to remember what is A. A, announcements. B, building. C, civilizations. You'll eventually start to memorize this, and you won't even need the screen at all. But for now, we're going to go ahead and play with it open on the side here. So let's talk about dwarves' basic needs and designations. Dwarves need a few basic things to survive, kind of like you and I do. We need shelter, we need food, we need water, we need not to be killed by goblins, which is frankly a rather common occurrence in my house. I don't know about yours, but we often have goblin problems here. Anyway, designations, if we hit D, we'll open up another menu. And I'm going to use my mouse cursor here. If you can see it in the middle of the screen, I'm going to highlight a few things. The first 4 rows on both sides have to do with digging, basically. You can mine something, you can create an upstairs, an up or downstairs, a channel, a downstairs, an up ramp, or you can remove stairs and ramps. So let's talk about those really quickly. Most of the time when you're playing Dwarf Fortress, you will be digging. I'm going to be using shift arrow keys to kind of move around the map pretty quickly here. And if we look, everything is pretty much on one elevation. I don't have the side of a mountain I can carve into. So right now, digging is not going to do very much for me. So I'm going to need to dig down into the earth first in order to start my fortress. Sometimes you can dig into the side of the mountain and start your fortress that way. I'm going to have to go straight down. I can pretty much do this anywhere other than in the ocean. That would be obviously a bad idea to dig into the ocean. So let's see, what do I need? Well, if we look at our options here, mining can't work. That's to go up, down, left, and right in the angles. I don't need an up stair because I need to dig down. I could use an up or down stair, but I can't really ever go up from here, so that's maybe not what we need. I could channel, which would kind of create a slope that my dwarves could walk down, but that doesn't quite seem right either. I could make a down stair, which seems right, or an up ramp. Okay, so I think we know what we want to do. We want to make a set of downstairs. So we press J, and you can see downstairs has highlighted, and we have our wonderful X cursor here that I'm circling with my mouse. We'll go ahead and make we'll make one right here, I think. Press Enter. Whenever you want to designate something, you're going to pick a start point and a stop point. So as you can see, just to the right of my X is a flashing, looks like a bunch of bricks. Bunch of bricks, I guess, flashing. If I were to move my cursor to the left and press Enter again, I've already defined my start point, which is this flashing icon. If I move my cursor to the side and press Enter again, as you can see, these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tiles have this symbol added onto them, which means that a dwarf, one of our miners who has the mining skill and a pickaxe, will run over here and dig these downstairs. Now, I don't want 6 stairs in a row. That would probably be hard to defend, maybe not the smartest thing to do. So how do I remove a designation? Well, it's always X. X is just the remove designation button. It's way down here. I'm not going to talk about most of these today. We're going to go over the basic designations today. But removing a designation with X is always done. So I'm going to remove, again I'm picking my start point and my end point. I'll remove all but one. So now you can see there's just the one that I've made right there. I think I want more than just one up and down stairway. Just in case there's pathing issues. You know, I'm not sure if more than one dwarf can use stairs at a time. Stairs. Let's see. Multiple. It's not a search option. More than. No. Maybe not. Looks like there's no reason not to build, or there's no reason to build more than one. But I'm actually glad we came to this page because this is a good example of what the Dwarf Fortress world looks like. This little image right here. Can I zoom in on it? Not really. Here, I'll just zoom in like this. Okay. Now remember how I was saying that the Dwarf Fortress world, the Z levels, are built of cake and icing? Well, if you look at this very first panel here, the white and black checkerboard would be your cake, and then the icing would be these layers in between. So as you can see, I want to build it downstairs, so that's the third panel here. So I'm going to basically just build stairs down into this layer of icing. So whenever you're transitioning between areas, you usually only affect the icing. And I'm using air quotes, and you can't see me because you can't see through the computer, but I'm air quoting to say icing. It's this little mini layer in between all the playable layers. When you dig, when you straight up dig, you'll only affect this middle, the cake layer. It's a little strange now, I know. As you can see, upstairs actually do affect the main layer. Downstairs affects both. It's a little weird, but after a little bit of time, it'll make sense. So go back a little bit. Go back to the game. Alright, so we have our one downstairs. I think I want to go ahead and make a few more. So I'm going to press Enter to hit my start point. Go down and to the right, press Enter again. Oh, I'm still on X. I'm still on Remove Designation. Remember, you can tell that by the remove is slightly brighter than the rest. So I want to hit J for my downstairs. Okay, downstairs is highlighted correctly. I'll hit enter to pick my start point, go down to the left, press enter again. I've now made 4. Now the game is paused, so this is not going to do anything until I hit escape and then unpause. In Dwarf Fortress, you don't directly control anyone. You can see there, my 2 dwarfs are now rushing over to dig out these squares, these stairs. And you can see the stairs that they're going to be digging are now flashing. Like I was saying, in Dwarf Fortress, you don't directly control any specific dwarf, except for on rare occasion. But you do tell dwarves, you basically assign jobs for them, and then their own AI, decides what they're going to do in what order. So as you can see, they're done now building out these downward stairs, and you can kind of see, I'm going to zoom in here. Oops, that was zoom out. I'm going to zoom in so it's a bit clearer. They look like down arrows, which is pretty cool. And remember that this is only digging into that icing layer in between this layer that we're on and the layer below. So let's go down a layer, and you can see the layer beneath is actually not dug out at all. So that actually reinforces what I was saying before. Oops, here. Is that the downstairs only affect this middle layer. This other cake layer right beneath is still filled in completely. So we need to do something with this. Oops, I went down 1, set up 1. So what do we want to do? Well, again, dwarves want shelter, so we knew that we need to build a place for them to live. Dwarves like to be underground, so that's what we'll do. Now, if you wanted to, you could build an above-ground city with your dwarves and just have your dwarves live in houses. Or you could build a giant tower using wood and have your dwarves just live in an outside tower. Or you could do a combination. I think that's one of the great things about this game, is that it is extremely flexible. Whatever you kind of want to do with it, you can. For now, we're gonna stick with the basics. We're going to build an underground fort. So I need to mine out now, right? No, actually mining would be incorrect. In order to access downward stairs, you need upward stairs to match. Let's go back here, and it explains this. I'm going to zoom out again here. There we go. Where does it say this? Somewhere. I just saw it. Right there. Upstairs need to be built below downstairs. Up and downstairs function as both up and downstairs at once. So, if I were to come and just straight out dig this hole instead of building upstairs to match, my dwarves would drop down into this hole because they're going to dig it out, and they would never be able to get back up. They would be stuck down in this little hole, and both my mining picks would be stuck down in this hole as well. I would have no way to dig them out, and I would basically lose my fort already. So that's a big mistake you don't want to make. You always want to pair an upward stair with a downward stair. So I'm going to go back to my designations, and instead of just building an up stair, I think I want to build an up and a down stair, because I'm going to want to eventually dig further down. So I pressed I, as you can see in the bottom left there, and that highlighted the up and down stairs in the upper right corner. Press enter to pick my start spot, enter again, and now I have these X's. Let's go back up, hit escape a few times. Oops, one too many. Space to unpause, and the dwarves, oh, see that? They got the new order. They're going to head down, going to dig out these stairs. Perfect. So now I have these 2 layers cut out, the stairs and the stairs. If I go down another layer, you can see the same thing as before. I have these upstairs and these downstairs here, but beneath it is nothing. So I need to make sure that if I ever want to dig down further, I build some upstairs to go along with it. Okay, so let's go ahead and zoom out a little bit. What do I need first? Well, I basically just need space for my dwarves to do things. We need to build like a masonry shop, we need to build a carpenter shop, but we need space to do that. Now again, we could just do everything above ground, but that's not very defensible. So we go down underground again, press D for designations, and by default, we're set up to mine. Just like with designating stairs, you press enter to pick a start spot, and enter to press a stop point. And as you can see, this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, this 6 by 2, these 12 spaces have been designated to be mined. So we can do the same thing here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, nope. One more, like this. We can do the same thing here. I like symmetry. I think that dwarves would like symmetry too. And then if we hit escape and unpause it, the dwarves will rush down. You see it's begun flashing. They're gonna start carving out these pathways. And as you can see, I'm gonna press K. Remember K to look around. I'm gonna press K and cursor over this stray cat. For some reason, a stray cat has followed us underground. He perhaps likes one of these two dwarves. Maybe we'll, it's Locke and Van. That's right, that's our miner. Locke and miner Van. So maybe this cat will eventually start to befriend one of these dwarves. We'll see. Anyway, we'll unpause it, let them finish designating, or let them finish mining out this designation. And now we have a little crossway, which works pretty cool. But we actually need rooms for them to do things in. So, just like before, we hit D. And then let's see, we need to mine out some rooms. So let's mine out 2 entrances to this room, and then we will go up some, like this. And then we'll do another one here. Just make everything nice and symmetrical for now, and we'll unpause it, and away they go. Now, I'm going to press K again to look, and we're going to mouse over the wall. This is a silt wall, and this is a silt cavern floor. Now, silt is similar to dirt in that you can dig through it very quickly, or sand, case may be. So these dwarves are clearing this space very quickly. They are novice when it comes, well, not particularly novice, they're pretty good, but they are not nearly as good as they can be at digging. If I were to dig down a few more layers to stone, it would take them much, much longer to clear out this space. So they've cleared out our 2 rooms. What else can we do with designations? Let's take a look. We could build more stairs. But I kind of got a nice little space here. So now we need to start collecting resources. One of your primary resources is wood. And if you look through the designation menu, T is to chop down trees. T for trees. Makes sense. Let's go back up 1 floor. And remember, each one of these circles here is a tree. Now, in our Embark profile, we set up a character, I believe, to do chopping, tree chopping. We gave somebody an axe. So let's just go ahead and press T, and you can see chop down trees was highlighted. We'll mouse over a tree, press enter to pick a start point, but there's no point in picking a stop point somewhere other than the tree because he's not going to chop down empty air, so we'll just press enter. And as you can see, this tree here that I'm circling now is a different color. Let's do the same with this tree here and this tree here. So we will unpause, and hopefully, there we go. Who's this? Press K to do look. Celeste. Celeste, our carpenter, is also our tree chopper lady. So she's going to chop this tree down, and you can't really see it because there's no animation, but as we unpause it, it takes a little while, and the tree fell. Now as you can see, I'm going to press K again. We have 4 plum wood logs. So we got 4 logs from that tree. If we go up a Z layer, you can see that tree no longer exists. There used to be a tree right here, if you look at my mouse cursor. It no longer exists. Celeste is headed down to chop these 2 trees. So let's actually unpause here while looking at 1 layer above and see what happens. She's currently down there chopping the tree. There you go, it just disappeared. She's currently working on this one now. There you go. Go back down a Z layer. Now you can see we have a good amount of wood. Maybe 12, 15 pieces. It's pretty good to get started. I don't think we need any more wood. What else can we do with designations? We can gather plants. I'm going to hit K. Oops. I'm going to go back 1 and hit K to do look again. If you remember correctly, in our last episodes we were looking around, we have all kinds of plants. Bitter vetch, oats, red bean vines, oats, hemp plants, more oats. There's a lot of plants to collect. Just like every other designation, let's hit D, and then P. We pick a start point, and an end point. Now, as you can see, this highlighted about 7 or 8 different little things to harvest. I'm not sure if we actually have a harvester. Let's take a look. Looks like we do. Who is this? Looks like he's got a little farmer hat on. This is Rydia, our farmer, who's also our picker. So she's going to go harvest plants. Again, she's not particularly good at it right now, but the more a dwarf performs a task, the better he or she gets at it. So you usually want to specialize your dwarves. I could let every dwarf do everything, and that would certainly probably make things efficient and quick. However, they would be pretty poor at whatever they're doing. And that's most of the designations. Let's see, let's take a look at what else can we do. Let's talk about ramps. I actually like ramps. Ramps work very similar to staircases, except they only ever go one way. You know, here we have a down ramp stacked on top of an up and down ramp. But if I were to build a, well, it's a channel here. So if I were to, let's just go down one layer, just for fun, let's build a channel here. A channel, I'm going to press H, that's what I did, and then I picked a start point and an end point. So here I'm going to channel out these two spaces here that I'm highlighting. A channel will do two things. Let's go back to our wonderful planning stairs example. A channel will do two things. It will dig out this icing layer here. It's actually this right here, a channel. It will dig out this middle layer where my mouse is, and it will create a slope that a dwarf can walk down. Now when a dwarf is down here on this level, it will at the same time create a slope that they can walk up. So I'm going to unpause, and the dwarves will come in and they will channel out this space. There you go. And as you can see, we have two, where my mouse cursor is, we have two up arrows showing that that's actually a slope. If we go down a level, you have the same thing. Soiled ramps. Press K, a clay upward slope, here a clay downward slope. It's actually, slopes look pretty similar, kind of hard to tell. But now if I wanted to, I could dig out this section as well. So we'll go ahead and hit escape, D for designations, D for mine. Let's just mine out this little section here. Why not? This will be maybe storage area or something. We'll do this just for some interesting patterns, right? Oops, went a bit too far. That's again one of the things that I love about this game, is that you can just make some really interesting patterns. Let's hit escape to cancel that. That wasn't quite what I was looking for. There we go. So now when I hit escape and unpause, these dwarves will just be able to travel down these ramps and start clearing out this space. Uh-oh. Look what I did. I cleared out the ramps itself. That was a mistake. I dug out the ramp in my haste to to fill in the space. Well, that was very unfortunate. However, thankfully, I'm not trapped completely. I'll show you what I can do. Because I have now, if this were truly a problem, both of my mining picks are on these two dwarves here. Locke and Vaughn both have my picks, which means I can basically dig my way out of here. So how can we do that? Just like before, we need to basically find a spot. I'm up one level now. Here's the hole, as you can see in the upper left corner. Remember, I'm looking with K right now. It says open space. That's because I was silly and I destroyed the ramps on accident. So this is not going to do me any good. I need to find a spot where a wall exists down here, and I can carve an up ramp into the wall. So here would be good. This corner right here. This corner right here, I could do it. So it looks like we can we can save this pattern. It won't look quite as good, but let's do a new designation, and we'll just do an up ramp this time. We actually have to dig up ramps, just like we have to dig stairs, just like we have to channel. We can't just like select here and build an up ramp out of nothing. There has to be dirt there. Remember, this is open space. My dwarves can walk around in this open space. So we can't build ramps. We can't build, if I were to do the same thing, if I were to do an upstair, press U, designate it here, see, nothing happens. There's empty space. I need dirt to build into this. So let's hit R for an up ramp. We'll dig into this corner, this one, and this one. Hit escape and unpause it, and let's see what they do. Sure enough, they are able to carve them out. Let's go up a level, and you can see now, here's our 4 up ramps. So it looks like we've been saved. That's good. We're going to have just this open space, it looks like, in our fort. We can't do anything about that. But I've got these up ramps now that my characters can walk up. So now we need to dig out the area around here so that they can return to this open tunnel right here. So we'll designate, we'll do mines. Let's make sure we do not pick the ramps, because if I press enter here, no, actually that didn't work. Maybe it's here that I did it. No, it wasn't. Interesting. Then I'm actually not sure how I deleted my previous ramps. Oops, I accidentally hit the wrong key. I apologize for that. There we go. I'm not sure how exactly I dug out those ramps before. It doesn't matter terribly, but go ahead and dig out these spaces here. I set up these designations, so when I hit unpause, they are correctly digging out the space. And for some reason they decided to go back underground. I guess they just like it. Nope, there they go. They're now racing off back to their wagon. So I think that's it about the main designations for digging, for adding ramps, adding stairs, things like that. Chopping down trees, gathering plants. I'll talk about smoothing stones and engraving stones, as well as fortifications and things later on. Those don't have much bearing right now. So I think I'm done for this episode here. Let's take a quick look. We will open up DF Hack. Don't worry about this, by the way. I'll teach you how to do this later on. We're going to open up Stone Sense like before. Alright, let's take a look at what we've just done. Now, if you can see, here we go. Okay, game's paused. Alright, let's get this lined up. It's a little buggy sometimes. Let's hit go to here, hit F. And again, I'm going to explain how Stone Sense works in the future, so don't worry terribly. There we go. Don't worry terribly about what I was just doing there. Basically, I'm lining up Dwarf Fortress on the right with Stone Sense on the left. Now, if you follow my mouse cursor, there's our downward stairs, and you can kind of sort of see them. They're a little bit hidden behind all the grass, but I have 4 downward stairs right there. Let's go down a layer, and you can see now in the 3D visualization, I've got the 4 sets of stairs, which are here, the 4 hallways, which are here, these 2 rooms that I've dug out, which are here, and then my slopes, which you can't really see, and then that big hole in the ground right there. Let's go down another, and you can see there, we've got our slopes. You can kind of see them here, and here, here and here, as well as this little open space as well. So you can kind of see how our fort is kind of coming together already in this 3D space here. We've got some rooms, a little more downward expanded area for maybe like a stockpile to store things in, something like that. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for this episode. I mostly just wanted to talk about designations, about mining. You can make some really intricate things. Let's go ahead and close Stone Sense. Open this back up again. I'm just going to show you just some of the cool things. So let's say you wanted to make a bunch of bedrooms. Alright, I'm in the designations menu. I'm going to delete all these once I'm done. I'm not going to keep these. So let's say you have some up and down staircases. So I'm going to press I. Make some up and down staircases. There you go. And let's say I had 15 dwarves that needed beds. Well, I could just press D, start designating, open up this area, make like a hallway here, hallway here. And just start making some bedrooms. There's one. Oops. There's two. Three. Too big. Four. Man, always going too big. There you go. You can even add some joining hallways like this. See, you got some really cool patterns that you can make here. There's actually entire, if we go back to Dwarf Fortress, let's zoom out to default. If you go to Dwarf Fortress Wiki and type in bedrooms, too many S's. Let's see. Bedroom design. There we go. You have a huge amount of resources to explain, if you see the images here, all these different, best case scenarios on how to build bedrooms. Here's a high density single floor, a staggered doorless room, high density single floor quick, high density multiple level. People have put a lot of time into figuring out the best, most efficient use of space. Now personally, I don't feel, oops, that was the wrong button. I don't feel you need to be, you don't have to be that focused on being super efficient. I think aesthetics are far more important for dwarves. I mean, again, the dwarves aren't really going to care, for the most part. This maybe be like a big bedroom here. If you had like some really high-profile dwarves, like a king or a queen coming to live with you or something, you wanted some high-profile dwarves, you could do it this way. Now, this does seem perhaps a little tedious. There are actually quicker ways to designate these out, and I'll talk about that in the future. For now, I'm just kind of building them as I talk, thinking about other things that I want to discuss as far as designations go. But I think I pretty much covered the basics with digging, things like that. I will continue as I am. Did I do that right? Yeah. I will continue as I continue to talk about other subjects. I will continue to talk about designations and probably just talk about them in addition. Things like engraving stones, smoothing stones, fortifications, tracks, engravings, things like that. Just as I come across them. I think I'll actually leave this symbol here because these stairs aren't connected to anything. The dwarves will never attempt to build them. So maybe I can just leave this here for the future. Who knows? We'll see. Maybe this will be my new starter area. Maybe I'll scrap this starting area. Who knows? We'll see. That's the beauty of this game. You can make some really cool patterns, some really interesting forts. But that'll do it for this episode on designations. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I'll see you next time.